joining in today for this great tutorial. I'm happy to share with you this great information from SurePay Limited. My name is George Kennedy. Today we want to look at how best we can capture the different expenditures using a school information management system from SurePay Limited. Yes, first of all, we said we need to have access or login credentials, and then we have a site where we always put those credentials, and that is the email address and the password. So before we log in or access this page, we always need to go to Google and then search for SurePay, and then among the different results that are going to pop or show up, we said you continuously go on and select SurePay, and this will support you or load you to the page where you will be required to enter that email address and the password. Today we are going to look at how we can organize the chart of account so as we capture the expenses. So we shall put in our email address because we have to access by signing in. Then we have to put in our right password. Utilize the eye icon to check if the password is right, and then you may proceed to log in. So if the password is wrong, they are going to tell you the email address you provided is not mapped to any user. So kindly check if the email address you missed out something. If you did, then rectify that and then proceed to log in. So if you see that you've put the right email address and then the right credentials, the system is going to enable you log in straight away, as you may see on our screen right here. So we may maximize this, and then you see that we are already on our dashboard, but our point of concern and interest today is on the chart of account, because we need to learn how to organize the chart of account to capture the expenses. So it is found under the school settings, and then you can see that we have the chart of accounts. So once you click on chart of accounts, you've got two icons, which is major account and then the sub account. These two buttons are enabling you to create maybe a major account and then maybe create a sub account. So as you may see on the screen, on the chart of accounts, we've got the account groups or the main ledgers. These are always inbuilt, like income, expenses, fixed asset, current assets. These come within your system after your school or your system is being set up. So they are always embedded or created within. Then you've got the account, major account section, like you see student payments under the income. So these we can term them for now as category accounts or category accounts. Then we have also the sub accounts, and it has got the sub items. If we may utilize or use this scenario here, you've got to see that as of the chart account, you have a main account or the main ledger account. For example, this is income, expenses, fixed assets, current assets. Remember, we said these are always inbuilt. You can't create them, you can't delete them, you will find them within the system. Then if it is the main account, and the main account should also have a major account, or which we call the category account. For example, if we are working with the expenditures, and this is the main account group, expenses, we've got a category account which you see in blue, for example food, and then it can have a sub account or sub item which is an item like rice portion, meaning that a sub item is being put under a category which is food, and then the category is also supposed to be under a main ledger account. For example, if we look at the expenses, you may see that the main account we want to work with is expenditures, so the main account is expenses, and then expenses need to categorize what are we going to spend on. So the category is food. So, and food, we are not going to go out and buy food alone, so we shall need to buy the different items. So these small items, the different items like you see rice, beans, peas, carrots, those items all together are what we call the sub items. And these sub items are created under the sub account. So the sub items all together make up the category which is food, and food as a category make up an expenditure, as you may see right here. If you may take time and maybe look at our picture, it can give you how this chart of accounts, we are going to organize it for the different groups or main accounts. If at all, for example, it was income, we are working with income as a main group, and then we got the section of blue, which is the category. We could categorize this as maybe student payments. And then what makes up student payments? Students payments are made of different items, like maybe uniforms. This could be uniform, maybe school fees, fees arrears. So those different small items paid make up a category which is student payment, and the student payment as a category makes up an income. So in the same way, applying to the expenditure side, you look at the picture and you see that the main account or the main section we are working with is expenses. It has got a category expense which we need to sort, like food, but food has to be having different items. So how do we set these different items or sub items in our chart of accounts? So we can quickly come here. Remember, we said these main groups or main ledgers are always inbuilt, so meaning we only need to be in position to add a major account and maybe a sub account. So once we utilize this button, like click major account, we are given an option to add a major account or a category. For example, we can select that we want to work with expenses, and then the category we want to work with, we can categorize this as staff breakfast. So if we click submit, meaning we've created a major account or a category. Like you may scroll down and see under expenses, you've gone on to create a new category which is a staff breakfast. You see, so we have the main account which is expenses, and then we have a category which we created as a major account under the major account which is breakfast. So breakfast doesn't have now the different small items which we are going to be spending on. So how do we create the different sub items to make up staff breakfast, which will again comprise together to be captured as an expenditure in our school? So we shall scroll up again and then click on add sub account. Then you click on the ledger account or the main group you want to work with. We want to work with income, expenditures. What is it? So we say we want to still work with expenses. We select that we want to work with so you see these are different categories. We were working with breakfast, and then now you go on and add the different items as sub items. Like for example, we shall need to buy chapati for our staff members. You click submit, and then you can go on and add the different, like samosas. You click submit. So you may have different items that you always buy for your staff, or you may specifically not be working on student staff breakfast or any other item. Kindly go on and set it as a category. Then you click to add sub items under that category you've set. So now we have set our chart of account as we followed this guideline, meaning we are going to capture the expenses, and we know we are working with a main account group, which is expenses, and then we set the category not as food, but we set our category as staff breakfast. And then instead of capturing rice and beans, so we are capturing the sub items we created as chapati and the samosa. So meaning a main group will be a mother to a major or a category group, and then the category will also be a mother to the small items. So as we may quickly go on and check if that was set right, let's scroll down quickly. You see that now under the expenses, the category is staff breakfast, and then the sub item is chapati and samosa. So after you've set it right, then you can now be able to capture the expenditure on such and such items by going to financial services. Under financial services, you may see that we got transfer and withdraw, cash deposits, and then recurrent expenses and capital expenses. For today, we are going to click and go to recurrent expenses. You see now we've got a recurrent expenses pending vouchers, but how do we start to add these items? Go on and click on add more to select the items. So you select the different items. Are you going to work? Remember, we are now spending. So go on and click on chapati and enter the quantity of the chapatis you're going to buy. How many? Is it 1? Is it 2? If you're buying like 10, at what rate? It could be maybe 500 shillings. That is in total 5,000. Then the narration, you may say staff breakfast. Go on and say add item. So you see it's already added. If you have some more items that you want to spend on, go on and select the different items, and like samosa, how many samosas we're going to buy? Again 10, and then still the same amount, or you could change, and then click add item. So after you've added the different items you need to spend on or to capture the expenditures, click return, and you may see that they are giving you that you want to spend on chapati 10 of them at a rate of 500, and the total cost will be 5,000. And again, same applies to samosa. In case you need to edit, you can go on and edit this information, or you can delete the information. So we proceed to finalize with the expenditure by saying close voucher. So once we click on close voucher, they are going to tell you that you are about to confirm and close this expenditure voucher. But note, you will not be able to edit this voucher afterwards, meaning we shall have spent this money out. So we select the funding account. Maybe we can select a cash at hand. If we have that cash at hand, then we should be having a voucher book, and the voucher book is always having the different voucher numbers. So we can utilize and enter that number from the voucher book, and then proceed to select the date when we are spending. We may say that we are spending this on Monday, and then click down to close the voucher by saying close voucher. So once you click, you see it has now disappeared, meaning we have now spent 10,000 on samosas and chapatis. So meaning that's how we can always capture, and then we can come to financial reports. If we come to financial reports, and then we can come to see the reports on our total expenditures, we may click on and say the start date. Maybe we want to see the expenditures from that date, and then to date. Then you click view report. The system is going to return to you the different items. You see, So this is the total expenditure between 11th month to date. So we spent on chapati 5,000 and then samosa 5,000. So the grand total is 10,000. So we can go on and click this button up here, and then we can download this and print this out as it has already downloaded. So if we click and open, we can always go on and print out our final result, and then always share it or document that. So it is right here. Let me open that. So that is always how we capture or organize our chart of accounts, and then be in position to get also the financial reports for the different items we've spent on always. So let's see this report. Open. So here we are. You can always print this out, and you can save that always. So dear friends, if you have challenges on how to organize this, it may not necessarily be on expenses, but maybe on different main ledger groups or accounts, kindly you can reach us out. We can support you to see that you fully capture the different expenditures on the different items, maybe construction, maybe food at your school, maybe capturing in different items, expenditures. We say thank you for now, and may God richly bless you. Bye bye.